In activity 4, we're going to do two things. We're going to show you how to add pictures and images. To do that, we're going to select a blank slide here. And the first thing we're going to do is show you how to add pictures. So click on your Insert tab and then click on Pictures. And the folder I'm going to go to is the Pictures folder. Now you might have pictures that you've taken of your students, you may have some videos and so on. So you may have some other things that you want to add. I'm just going to add some of the stock pictures that come with Windows 7. Here I've got a picture of some penguins, so I'm going to double click on this penguin picture. And notice it covered up my slide here. I'm going to have to resize this. So let's do that. I'm going to resize this. Okay. Now, one of the other things I want to show you here that you can do is you might like this background, but a lot of times you want it to blend in with whatever else is on your slide. And one way to get it to blend in is by removing the background. So what I'm going to do is with my picture selected, this Format tab becomes viewable. And over here on the far left, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Remove Background. Notice you get this purple field. The purple is what it's going to take out. Now what I'm going to do is so it doesn't clip off the top of the penguin's heads here, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger in this direction, and I'm also going to make it a little bit bigger here because it's going to clip the bottom. Okay. Now it's hard to tell, but right here there's actually a little purple area that it's going to take out. And what I want to do is I don't want to remove that, so I'm going to tell it to leave that in. So over here you can go to Mark Areas to Keep. I'm in the Background Removal tab, and that comes up automatically when you go into this mode here. So basically I selected Mark Areas to Keep, and I'm just going to draw a line across it, and there it did it. Put it back in. It's basically all I had to do. Now if I click over here anyplace else on the slide, so now you can see you've got a group of penguins talking to each other. The other thing is you can't tell it. I'll show you this in just a little bit. Is this white space in between here and around them now is the background of the slide, and we'll add another background to that in just a little bit. So the other thing we wanted to do was to add an image. Now, where do we get images from? Well, there could be any number of places. The place that I like to go get images is from Google Images. So let's go to, I've got my internet uh, browser open. I use Google Chrome. And if you go to images.google.com, okay, and I'm already there, you can search for images. Now, I think one of the things that might be appropriate for this uh, picture is some polar bears. So I'm going to put some polar bear cubs. I'm going to search for those. And I've got some polar bear pictures. I'm going to pick this one right here, and I'll tell you why in just a second. I've looked at these pictures, and one of the things that's important when you pick photos, you want to look at the resolution. This one is 828 by 551. If you start stretching photos out, they can get grainy in a hurry. So you want to pick photos that are at least, I'm going to say 500 by 500, okay? Um, if you get photos that are 100 by 200, like that, again, they're going to get very grainy. So this one looks pretty good. Let's take this. So I'm going to right click on this photo and click copy image. And now I'm going to switch back over to my PowerPoint presentation. Right click on my slide. Now there's a couple of paste options here. I'm going to select keep source formatting. Okay, so there's my polar bears. And I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to basically take the background out of it. And remember, what we do is select the photo, click Format, and then click Remove Background. And that did a pretty nice job, so I'm just going to accept that like it is. So again, what I want to do is I just want to click in some area away from this. So there's my polar bears, and you can size those accordingly. Now, one of the things we could do is to make these stand out a little bit more is to add a background. So I'm going to insert a shape here. I'm going to pick this rounded rectangle. Okay, you might ask, well, what good does that do? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to send that to the back. And what that did is it put it behind the penguins and the polar bears. The other thing I'm going to do is notice over here you've got the shape styles. I'm going to pick this bluish colored background. I could pick any number of colors here, but I'm just going to pick blue. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to soften the edges here a little bit. This what that does is again, it would allow you to blend it into the with other things that are on your slides. So in order to soften those edges, I'm going to click on this box and then go to Shape Effects. I'm going to go to Soft Edges, and you can pick any one of these. I'm going to go with a 25 point, and notice how it softens that edge around here, and you could put it up next to other things. They blend in a little bit easier. So there you can see it. Now, to emphasize what it did to taking out the background, notice now you can actually see this box. If I move it up and down, you can actually see that through the penguins here and so on. So that's one of the advantages of removing that background. So there you have it. Give it a try.